Hi, my name is Jessica White. Thanks for joining me to hear more about EduSummit and Thematic Working Group 6. Thematic Working Group 6, or TWG6, discussed aligning educational policies with the new realities of schooling. This group discussed not only policy, but the realities of policy implementation with respect to the use of learning technologies in schools, given the new realities of schooling post-COVID. Thematic Working Group 6 gathered diverse experiences and viewpoints from Australia, Bulgaria, Canada, India, Ireland, Italy, Japan, and Sri Lanka. Previous EduSummit thematic working groups discussed similar topics, such as the need for alignment across educational systems and what quality digital instruction looks like. Members of Thematic Working Group 6 gathered studies about digital learning policies from their countries and organized them into 3 categories: before COVID, during COVID, and after COVID. This organization helped sort results by important questions and track the progression of digital learning policies in the last 4 to 5 years. For example, did campuses have policies in regard to digital learning and teacher assessment before COVID? Did campuses develop policies during COVID, and did they maintain them afterwards? Based on answers to these questions, Thematic Working Group 6 developed a mind map of new realities of schooling post-COVID, including the deprofessionalization of teaching, the digital divide, increased awareness of students' mental health issues, and a lack of seamless connection of formal and informal learning experiences. These new realities were organized into 6 categories that I'll review now. First, hybrid, online, and blended learning have caused a recognition of learning technologies as an important part of teaching to be integrated into the classroom, not to be ignored or excluded. Next, social-emotional learning is impacted by technology, especially social media. Emerging and innovative technologies such as artificial intelligence can disrupt existing policies. Learning technologies professionals should track the development of these innovations. Next, teacher burnout is increasing as the profession changes. Teacher training is decreasing when we actually need increased teacher training for the success of learning technologies. Societal development, such as natural disasters or political instability, have a noticeable impact on learning and policy. Finally, the pace of policy making is not keeping up with the fast-paced innovation of learning technologies, especially as many places return to the basics to make up for losses during COVID. So how do the policy discussions from Thematic Working Group 6 connect to the new educational realities of this era? First, increasing learning technologies can exacerbate inequalities, something policymakers should keep in mind. Societal crises can often shift policy decisions away from technology and towards educational gains. The digital divide will continue to increase as inadequate teacher training pushes them away from learning technologies. Some countries are currently adopting new technologies while others have reverted back to the basics, creating a diverse pool of learning technology policy around the world. Pedagogy is changing as learning technologies become a bigger part of teaching. And finally, the rapid growth of technology is outpacing the pace of policy making. The outcome of Thematic Working Group 6 highlights the need for the alignment of policies across systems with the goals and standards of an organization. Policy should be developed around a common vision, be powerful enough to readjust to disruptive or innovative technology, while empowering teachers and learners. Other Thematic Working Groups discussions relate to the insights from Thematic Working Group 6. For instance, Thematic Working Group 1 discussed how technology causes a deprofessionalization of teaching. Thematic Working Group 2 discussed that policy needs to respect diversity, equity, and opportunity. Thematic Working Group 5 made connections between formal and informal learning, while Thematic Working Group 7 ensures funding and support for teachers and learning technologies. Based on their discussion, Thematic Working Group 6 recommended strategies for policymakers, practitioners, and researchers. Policymakers should create flexible policies framed around a common vision, keep teachers and learner autonomy in mind, and promote diversity and equity. Learning technologies practitioners should prioritize the support and well-being of teachers and learners and allow them to adapt to innovative technologies. And researchers should seek the relationship between policy alignment and learning technology policy implementation while researching the impact on schooling. One of my favorite quotes from the Thematic Working Group 6 discussion perfectly sums up the importance of policies that guide successful implementation of learning technologies. Post-COVID-19 requires a clear vision and strategy on how all phases and stages of education can purposefully and strategically embed digital technologies into educational practices. If there is no alignment between policy and action, schooling will not meet the needs of society and prepare young people to empower them to take an active role in shaping their lives and the societies they live in. Thanks for joining me for this discussion. I hope you'll take something from it and help you guide learning technology policy in your own organization.